Yo, what's good, man? We're gonna do another little nighttime vlog or video. And I'll say this, man, if you don't like my channel, you don't need to be here. I don't know why you're here, why you're watching. It's not for you. I don't know if you're an enemy, a spy, somebody doesn't like me, trying to keep tabs on me, or whatever it is, man. I don't know why you're watching content from somebody you don't like. But anyway, you know, in this brutal world, man, you only have just one time to make a first impression. And I was talking to somebody earlier. It's crazy. I talk to a lot of people, which is crazy because people are like constantly emailing me, seeing if I'm all right, you know, which is love, because not everybody gets that type of love and that type of treatment. But I'm happy, even though my channel is smaller now. I still get love from people. But when you're somebody that's been in a very bad position for a long time, going around new people, like I was having this discussion with somebody earlier. Going around new people who have good lives, they're not going through the drama and the stress of facing, being homeless and all types of drama and problems, and they exert a certain type of energy. And if you're somebody that's been going through it for a long time, you've been suffering, you've been downtrodden, you've been just losing family members. Because this person told me I was talking to, he just lost his dad earlier this year, so he's been going through it too. And when you get in certain social situations and you encounter people that have a much better life than you, they can pick up on that energy. And if you come in that social situation carrying all your pain with you, wearing your emotions on your sleeves, people can pick up on that. And then they might not want to mess with you or be around you again. And it's absolutely brutal, but it's true. Because, they say misery likes company, but also happiness hates misery. When people are happy in life and all that, and it's your first time meeting them and you kind of you're carrying some type of emotional baggage on you, they're going to pick up on that. And if you come off as a weird guy or somebody that's, not sociable, they're going to pick that up. And then they're going to treat you accordingly. So you got to be careful. And sometimes people may just try to size you up, especially when they see you, their first time meeting you or whatever, just to see what you're about, humans have all types of psychological tricks and tactics that they utilize. And the more, conniving and crazy the person, the more that gets creative. But I'll tell you this, man. No matter what, though, you got to be yourself, especially youngsters. I know how influential, things can be, especially when you're young. You feel like you got all this time, you got the world in your hands and all that. You have your mom, your dad. I got some people on here telling me, they've been going through it, but they said their parents would never kick them out and shit like that, and they kind of feel bad for me, I'm a soldier, man. I've been going through this for a while, and then people emailing me saying, hey, man, I heard that one song you did when you was 18, that revival song, that freestyle, whatever. Guys, when I did that, I was young, and I remember being high as hell. I think I was with the homies, we had just smoked. And then I just freestyled, and then I think I had stopped, and then boom, we freestyled. I think I did it a couple of times, to catch my breath in it, because I was so damn high at the time with the friends. That was a long time ago, And people were saying, bro, you used to rap like that? How the hell did you not even make it or make any type of dent? And that's because, man, you got to be around the right people. When everybody's calling you a loser for not having a job, but they're not seeing the bigger picture, they're judging you for an immediate circumstance. Oh, he doesn't have a job, he's a loser. But they don't understand that certain people, they have a certain destiny upon them, And maybe this 9 to 5 is not for them at this moment. Maybe they need to focus on their music career when they're young, before they get to their 30s or late 20s. And if they focus on that music career, that can turn into their fucking job, you imbeciles. But a lot of people don't see that, or they don't want you to realize that. Got to keep that in mind as well. Another thing, youngsters, is not everybody want to see you win. That's another thing I keep telling the youngsters, because everybody thinks that they're in these big friend groups and they wonder why, like, their friends like try to sabotage them or shit like that. Because not everybody you call friend is really your friend and wants to see you win. Some people want to see you fail, and they like it. Some people they observe you, they watch you, they do all this just to try to keep tabs on you. They try to, just to see if you're failing, so they can try to compare themselves to you. Oh, I'm doing better than him, so yeah, he's just a loser. It's like, it's weird. It's like, why don't you just focus on yourself? Focus on building, your YouTube channel up, or focus on fucking skateboarding, whatever, getting better at swimming, whatever it is, just focus on that, And it's crazy because you have a lot of people, man, that, people get backdoor, and it's crazy. One of my favorite rappers, man, I think is Lil Scoon, one of my favorite rappers, and he got backdoored by a female, which is brutal. Somebody he put some trust in, and then see how that goes. It's bad. That's one of my. He was so talented. Him, Little Jeff, all of them. Like gifted rappers. Live their lyrics. And it's crazy. Like, you got to be very careful in this world who you trust and who you don't trust, because sometimes in this world, man, this life can get tricky. And you got to watch out for it, because it's always when you want to build something that people want to take it down. Look at my channel, for example, my last one. I wasn't bothering nobody. I'm minding my business, and just doing my own thing. I'm not bragging in front of people. I'm not saying, oh, I got this many subscribers and shit like that. No, who gives a fuck, I'm not showing video. I just kept it to myself because, why? There's no point in just trying to brag and be braggadocious or whatever. There's no point in doing that. But you know how it is. It's brutal. And sometimes, man, we have to just take a step back and think, how do we end up in this position? I'm in this position because I thought I had a talent that could take me far. And according to everybody, I did, but it must have been like a lot of bull crap going on, because this talent that I thought was gonna, take me far, uplift me, whatever, it ended up backfiring, because I didn't have the right type of people, in my life or whatever. And that can happen, Just imagine if, name your favorite rapper or your favorite artist or something like that. And imagine them just listening to all the people who told them, don't follow your dreams, don't follow your passions, just do whatever. You know what I mean? And they didn't have that support. I was talking to somebody earlier, they're telling me about, a rapper that they like, and they're telling me how much support and help they had, like people going on their Instagram, people going on their Twitter, supporting their music, putting their music out there and doing all types of shit, showing them love, And when you're somebody that's facing homelessness, facing mental issues, your whole family's been wiped out before your eyes pretty much. People used to live with and see every single day. They've all gone. They died, And when you go through that type of shit and you just keep going through things in life, you start to question things, And you start to just be like, hey, this shit is not normal. Point blank, period. Because they say that pain makes you stronger. And yeah, to some degree it does, right? But also when you keep going through a lot of shit, it can make you go crazy too. You know, there's people that I used to know, haven't talked to in years though, but because they went pretty much crazy. But they used to be good, solid people, right? And then they started learning about certain things, start doing certain things, you know, and then it turned them into a savage, you know, and to the point where they wouldn't even trust their own homies, you know. Few situations I've been in where it's like people that I used to smoke, you used to sit, like people used to sit down and smoke blunts with, talk, talk about life with and all that. And they be the ones, you know, pointing guns at you and shit like that, you know. So you got to watch who you call your homie too. That's one of the main things. Because you never know. You just never know. And what's cold about it is that some of the deepest blades hide in the darkest shadows, you know. And a lot of times, or sometimes it can be, you know, avoided. Other times, some people there's certain people you may just fuck with, you know. Y'all just get along. Got a cool little vibe. And, you know, you click. Then after years and years and years, you know, people go their own separate ways a lot of times, you know. There could be people that, you know, that you grew up with from as when you was like a kid, you know, or as a jit is what they say in Florida, right? You know, people you knew since you was like a jit, say that, you know. And something happens, man, and people just change. It's crazy. But it doesn't mean that you have to, you know, get on that same frequency, you know. You know, when you really hit rock bottom, you see everything clearly and concisely. You know, everything becomes more precise, you know. And also you kind of lose that fear, you know. Like a lot of people, they're scared of failure, you know, and they're scared to admit it to themselves. You know, it takes guts for somebody to come on and acknowledge that they're a loser or a failure because they wanted something bad. Most people will never say that about themselves because they don't want to, because they have so much pride. But, you know, life's going to tell you what it is. You know, you can try to pick on somebody, you know, who you see as inferior or who you see as lesser. But, you know, when somebody has multiple talents, you know, you can't really hold that back, can you? You know, you can call somebody whatever for so long, but one day that person's going to catch a spark. And then all that's done in the dark will come to the light. So if that person's been, you know, attacking you from the shadows and then denying it and lying about it, trying to play like they're innocent, when the whole time they've been plotting on you this entire time, it's going to come to the light. Point blank, period. You know? Sometimes, you know, you think back and you're like, damn, why did I do that? Or why didn't I do that? And you beat yourself up over the head with it or about it. Don't do that. You know, I know a lot of us will go through all types of emotional hurdles and complications and shit, but we got to understand that sometimes the choices we made were due to being under duress. You know, it's like if somebody points a damn shotgun to your head and tell you, you know, give you all your money, you know, some may fight back, others probably not, you know. But the thing is, you know, try to keep your composure, try to keep your head on, and just try to be a good person is all I'm trying to say, really. You know, these late night thoughts, you know, and don't let this world try to shape you into something that you're going to, you're not going to like when you look in the mirror, you know? Honestly, I can say that when I was younger, I put it all into rap, you know what I mean, that I could. All I needed was the right people, you know? It's not even about funding, because you could fund a project, you could spend all this money trying to make music, but if you got the right people and know the right people, then guess what, you know? How far is your music really going to get, right? It's a combination of knowing the right people and a combination of being lucky. That's what it is. You have to know the right people and you got to be lucky. Simple as that. You know, how many people that you know that made it and they got on, but I don't like speaking about certain things because it's like you don't want to bring, here's another thing. Never tell people your dreams or ambitions, because they're going to see your dreams and look at their dreams and ambitions, and if they failed and if they failed in their dreams, they're going to try to sabotage you so you won't make it, you know? So you got to be careful. Never tell anybody your dreams or what you planning to do. Just do it and keep quiet about it. That's what I was doing. But magically, people just randomly found my channel. So crazy, right? Didn't tell nobody, mind my business, stayed out the way. People still, like, they searched and lurked, and it's just crazy. Even right now, there's people watching, you know, the channel that they don't give a fuck about me. They don't like me, but they're watching this channel because it's like, I'm appearing to his life and see what he's talking about, so I'll know. You know, it's just crazy. Like, if I don't like somebody, if I don't fuck with them, if I really hate that person, I'm not going to go on their channel and see what they're doing. I'm going to mind my fucking business like I did before. You know, when I had my own channel, it was popping. I didn't tell nobody. I didn't brag in nobody's face. I didn't say a word. I just shut my mouth and just kept doing my thing, you know, point blank period. But I guess I'm different, you know, point blank. I just want to mind my own business, man, and stay out the way, point blank. But it's like some people, they really ask for it, you know. But yeah, man, make sure you guys stay focused, though. And there's going to be a lot of turmoil coming up, you know. But like I said, if you're still, you're still young or whatever, you still got time or whatever. But make sure you take advantage of it, though. Because you don't want to find yourself in a position where you just don't want to find yourself in certain positions, right? So if you have dreams or whatever, go ahead and follow it. If nobody around you believes in you, you know, I do. Shit, you know, fuck it. You know, because sometimes that's all it takes. It's the right person to believe. And that'll change everything. So yeah, peace out.